Okay guys, so it's Max here, and this is the Desk Setup Tour 2018. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so as you can see, my desk is an underbed desk, and this makes it very convenient for this room as it's not that big. And also, I wanted a big desk, and instead of building one, I have one under the bed with two cabinets either side, and I'll talk about them later on. So, the main focus of the desk is my two monitors. The one on the left is a 15-inch monitor that I've made, and it's a 720p monitor if I can remember correctly, and if you want to see how I made it, you can check the card up in this corner. But basically it's not the greatest monitor. It was supposed to be cheap, but in the end it wasn't. So it's only a 15-inch, and that's why it is my second monitor. So the one on the right is a 21.5-inch Asus monitor that I got off eBay for about 40 quid, and it was a bargain because it is a 1080p monitor and the colours are good. It's got different colour settings. I've just got it on normal, and I really do enjoy it. It's a 16:9 monitor, so yeah. Also on top of that 21.5-inch monitor, there is a little cheap webcam just in case I want to do some screen recording, which I may in the future, so you get a picture of my face as well. And also behind the monitor is an LED strip that is USB powered and can change colour. Both of those monitors are sitting on a monitor stand which has USBs in that I built, and I don't think I did a video on that, but it's basically a very simple monitor stand that fits both monitors just about, with 4-port USB hub into the left side, and that always has my hard drive, my portable hard drive plugged in. That is kind of a backup hard drive, but also I can access all the files on it, so I can use it with my laptop. So I basically have all the stuff on my computer copied over to a portable hard drive so I can use it on the laptop and don't ever forget a file. So to the left and the right of my desk are my homemade 100-watt speakers that were very cheap to build actually. I can't remember the exact price of them, but I believe I did a video, so if you want to see how I made them, also check a link up in this corner, and all links as well in this video, if I can fit a link in, it will be in the description. On the left side of my desk, in front of the left speaker, is some of the lamps that I've made. They're not permanent, well, maybe one of them is, but the others I'm currently making, and if you want to see how I made them, you can check that also up in the video, up there or in the description. Also, on top of my left 100-watt speaker, there is a pair of headphones for just simple editing. Just to the right of that is a really cheap and easy to make LED sign, but there's no video on it. And also, in front of that is the laptop stand that I built with some cables coming out, which is a Thunderbolt port, mini display port, and a audio jack that goes to the amplifier. So you can just change the inputs on the amplifier, and then you can have music playing or sound playing from the laptop through the main speakers, or as usual it will be coming through the computer. I'll talk about that more later. So the peripherals that I use is just a cheap unbranded wireless white mouse and keyboard that paired through one dongle, and yeah, that just makes it tidy, and for me I've got no problem. I've also got a little cheap mouse mat under that, and that's all I need really. Okay, and moving over to the right side of the monitors and the desk is a little small box that I made that I do have a video on, so if you do want to build that or see how I made it, you can check the card up there. And also next to that is a desk organiser with a little drawer and a shelf and pens and pencils. And also I made a video on that, so you can go check that out up there. And as I just mentioned, all the links are in the description, so go check that out as well at the end of the video. So now we've covered the top half of the desk. Underneath the desk on the left hand side is a 3-drawer white cabinet that I got second hand from a second hand shop, and it's nothing fancy, but in the first drawer I have all my camera gear in a little box organiser that I made for the drawer, so if you want to see how I made that, also there's a link up in this card and in the description. So that just houses my old cameras at the back, then a spare slot which is at the moment being used for batteries, but when I get a new lens that will be used for a lens holder. They've all got foamed in the bottom, and also in front of that is the current lens slot, and then in front of that is the body area for the body of the EOS 1300D that I am currently recording on, and then to the right of that is the GorillaPod that I have, and then behind that is the case for all of my camera stuff. So moving down to the second drawer, this just houses random bits and bobs that don't have a specific home but can all just shove in there, and there's actually lots more room for lots more bits and bobs, but at the moment there's just random bits like notepads, operating systems, all sorts that I have. So moving down to the third drawer, this is all stationery, art stuff, lots of drawing pads and colouring pencils and fine liners and all sorts like that. To the left of the cabinet is a 2-metre tripod that I'm currently recording on. This comes in handy a lot, but I do need one with adjustable legs so I can put it on an uneven surface. And also to the right of that is the LED controller for both the LED strips on the back of the bed and also the back of the monitors. Mounted to underneath the desk to the right of the left cabinet is the 100 watt amplifier made by Kinter, and basically 2 cables go off to the speakers, and there is a phono input that one goes to the computer, this is what I was on about earlier, and just a 3.5mm jack into the computer, and one is a phono and then goes up to underneath the laptop stand, which also has a 3.5mm audio jack on the end of that. So you can plug that into the laptop, or even just a phone. I sometimes use it for to play music from a phone, because you can't access the one behind the computer. That's where it's plugged in. Not a very interesting thing, but just slowly moving across from underneath the desk is the chair. It's a cheap IKEA chair and it was very uncomfortable, so I put some bits of memory foam on and I covered the bottom bit in some kind of material that I had lying around, and that's made it much more comfortable and nice to sit on for a couple of hours. So now under the right side of the desk is this cabinet that I made that houses my computer and my 12-volt box. Okay, so my 12-volt solar box is basically the charging station for most of my stuff. It is a 12-volt battery inside this box with a 20-watt solar panel. If you want to know more about it and how I made it and the real specs, go check the link in the description and the card up in the corner. But basically it charges anything USB powered really. So to the bottom left in front of it there's a little box with cables in, and then on top of that is the 2 cables I use mainly, and then to the right of that is the camera battery dock for this, and then to the right of that velcro to the side is a 4-port USB hub that goes just straight to the box, and then plugged into that is my battery charger dock for my old camera. Also behind there is just my old solar panel, the old battery, some old 12-volt cables that I don't really use anymore, and yeah, bits and bobs that can just stay behind there and that are still useful, but it's just a useful place to store them. So the shelf above houses my custom computer. So as you can see it looks very different, and that is because I made the case itself as well. So if you are looking to build a mini ITX case or computer and you want the case to look, or the computer to look very unique, then you can build this by checking out DIY Perks video, and I'll put a link to it in the description and in the card up there because he explains it really well. You do need a couple of things, but it's not that expensive because I don't have much money at all. That's why I got this camera really cheap, but I managed to build it. But basically the computer is a dual core Intel Pentium 3.3 GHz, not the best, but it does me fine. It doesn't have a graphics card. That CPU is sat on the Gigabyte H270N-Wi-Fi motherboard, and as far as I know that's quite a good motherboard. It has Wi-Fi, it's 2016 so it's not that old compared to some of the last ones I was looking at, and you can get better CPUs for it, but I just chose that one as it was something like 50-60 quid, so that worked for me fine. It has 4 gigabytes of, I cannot remember the exact brand, but it's got 4 gigs of RAM, and it's also got a 250 gig Samsung I believe, but I'm not 100% certain on that, SSD that is, and it's got a V450 Corsair power supply, which is, I'm pretty sure, way overkill because this computer doesn't have a graphics card or anything really major like that. So You don't need that, but it's nice to have some extra room rather than your power supply working really hard and just gonna explode. But if you want to know the exact specs and the real detail when I made it, you can go check out all the details in the video up in the card up there or in the description, because I knew what I was talking about then, but I made it like half a year ago, so I can't remember exactly what I put in there. But if you watch that video, basically I tell you in more depth about my computer. So that's been it for the desk tour 2018. I didn't do one since early 2017 I believe, and it wasn't that good. But the cable management, I haven't really talked about that. I tried my best, there's some shots I've got of it. I've talked about it before, how to cable management. I did a video on it, go check that out in the description or up there. So I've got tons of links, go check them out in the description, go scrolling through, they've all got titles and you can just check and click one of the links and it will take you to one of my videos or the DIY Perks video on the case, which is a very good video. That's how I built it. Also, I'm slowly getting into photography, and as you probably can tell, I make a lot of woodworking stuff, and I do drum covers, as you know, so there's a playlist somewhere on my channel, but basically I like music as well, and I like to compose that. So I have 3 websites linked in the description, first 3 links, and they are my 3 websites that I've made. The photography one is on Wix just because it's loads easier for galleries, but all the others I've done through HTML and that works fine. And if you type in Max Designs on Google with 2 Z's instead of the S's in designs, it's first result, which is actually quite surprising. And so yeah, you can go check that out. It's not very hard because you can just type in Max Designs. That's for the woodworking one. Photography one, links in the description, and the music one is Apple Tree Jam. And if you type in Apple Tree Jam in Google or Bing even or anything, SoundCloud will come up, and it should be my SoundCloud, and also there's a link to the website there, but they're all in the description if you want to know, plus all the links that I've already mentioned. So this video is getting very long and dragging on quite a lot. I hope you guys, if you're still watching at this point, well done, because it's quite a boring video to be honest, but it's for just some of the people who are interested. So guys, if you like this video and managed to make it to this point, remember, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video next Wednesday.